Hello and welcome to Noel's Retro Lab. We haven't had a mail day in a couple of weeks and look what happens. The packages keep piling on. There's some things here that I've already said they were coming, and there's some things that are complete surprises. So let's have a look. So this first package is coming all the way from New Zealand. There you go. Specifically, it's coming from VRetro. Cool, with a link to the user manuals and everything. Very nice. Thank you, Charlie. And this is actually more compact than I realized. That's really cool. So we have several things in here, and this is all Sinclair QL related. So this, even though it's not very big, this is a Sinclair QL power supply adapter. So this doesn't connect to the mains directly. This, I think, does it take 5 volts? I'm not really sure what it takes. I need to double check. Probably 5 volts or 12 volts or something like that. And then this outputs the correct voltages for the Sinclair QL. So this is great because unfortunately, Sinclair QL power supplies are hard to come by, and it's actually really cool, the 3D printed case. It's even done in the QL style with a little vent over here and just the shape of it and stuff. So definitely a lot of care has gone into this. It has little rubber feet, so yeah, very nicely done. And then those two things are related to what's in here. And just like the power supply, this is really nicely done. This is a V drive. Is it called V drive? I think it's called V drive. So it's a micro drive emulator. So it has a slot here for an SD card. Actually, it's a full SD card, not a micro SD card, which is unusual. But that's totally fine. That's what adapters are for. And yeah, this is really cool because this was made to look exactly like the end of the QL, maybe a little smaller. And it has the 2 ports, so this is how you connect it on this side, and this allows you to connect another one next to it, so you can chain as many of them as you want. Has the same kind of LED for activity as the regular Sinclair QL. So that's really cool. And these two things, so this is a cable to connect this allows you to connect to the QL itself, and this is a VMAP. So I don't know the details yet. We'll go over all these accessories sometime soon, but this is what allows you to decide to which number different micro drives map to. So eventually normally you have MDV1 and MDV2, and this would be probably MDV3, but you could use this to make this your main one, which would allow you to then start from here and just make it your default for stuff, and then you only use the 2 built-in ones only for special things. So that's if you're gonna get this, you might as well just get the VMAP. So this is awesome. As I said, I will definitely do a whole episode on pimping up your Sinclair QL and using all the different accessories available for it. Next, but also related to the Sinclair QL, we have a package coming from Sweden. I love how all these packages related to the same thing are coming from all over the world. So this is a piezo buzzer for the QL drive. So the QL drive will emulate a micro drive by reading files from an SD card, but obviously it doesn't have any mechanical parts that move, so it doesn't make any noise. And really, you miss that noise. It lets you know that things are working and what's the activity and what's going on. So this tries to emulate that noise. And I haven't listened to it yet, but I hear it's not just a beep beep or something like that. Actually, it tries to be a little closer to the micro drive noise. So I'm very curious to see what kind of sound we get from this. So we'll definitely try this along with the V drive. Changing gears a little bit, we have two packages, one big and one smaller envelope, coming from Italy, and both about the same thing. This feels totally like a treasure chest. So many goodies. This is a bunch of TI-99 4A accessories. Let's have a look at them. So this is coming from Ciro in Italy, and he's part of the TI-99 Italian club. And they have a bunch of software and cartridges and just general accessories about the TI-99 4A. And one of the things I wanted to do is I realized that that's a much better computer to experience sort of fully loaded with a lot of the accessories. And I wanted to get several of those. So this was my chance to get several of them. Right, and in particular, this is the one that I was most excited about. This is the speech synthesizer. A lot of you told me last time that I covered some of the games in the TI-99, like, yeah, that's good, but you have to try it with the speech synthesizer. And I had seen some videos, and it's really, really amazing. I mean, for technology from late 70s, early 80s, it sounded really good. So I'm definitely looking forward to experiencing that. Why does this go up like that? I don't know. That's weird. Does something go there? Does a cartridge go there? I don't think so. These should be some cartridges for things that I was interested in getting. For example, right, the TI Extended Basic. Again, a lot of you told me you have to get that basic. The default basic on the TI-99 really is not very good. So I decided to get that. And a few other interesting programming ones, like there's an editor assembler. I'm sure there's more modern, better ways to, for example, write assembly on the TI-99, but I was curious to see what it was like to try to do it back in the day. And let's see, more cartridges, right. So some games, Munchman, Car Wars, these are some of my favorites from experimenting with it last time. Alpiner, I picked that one because it apparently uses a lot of the speech synthesizer. Parsec, right, another great one. And Tombstone CD. Again, a lot of you said, you have to try Tombstone CD. And I know this one's a little trickier to try because I think you need this and you need to load a game state from tape or disk. So it's not just pop in the cartridge and play, I think. So we'll see, but it's there. And Tunnels of Doom, right, that's another one. So no, right. This is the one. This is the one that you needed to load the state from somewhere else. Tombstone CD, I think, is something else. So yeah, well, all cool stuff to try. And so this, I don't remember this, but it may have been something that allows you to program the speech synthesizer. It's a terminal emulator command module. Right, so it's not so much for calling on a modem through the phone line, because that would be very difficult unless we get lots of adapters. But I think it has, right, speech sound. So it allows you to do some programming and some things. So maybe we can get the TI-99 to sing us a song or something. So that'd be fun. And then these are some manuals and documentation. Some of them came in a different package because unfortunately Zero forgot to mail them together the first time. So let's see, what do we got here? Right, Tombstone CD. So yeah, that was not the one that you need to load the state from disk. Car Wars, very cool. Munchman, Parsec. And what is this? Quick reference. Oh, this, I see, rock slides, that must be Alpiner. Lots of different languages. And then we get to the manuals for speech synthesizer. Do they explain what that little opening is for? Don't seem to show anything. Okay, I'll find out. The TI-99 Extended Basic reference card, awesome. This more Extended Basic, and even more Extended Basic. Oh, very cool. I didn't realize it was such a big reference book. That's awesome. Great. And of course, the sticker for the TI-99 Italian User Club. So if you're looking for any kind of these accessories, books, software, check them out. They have a bunch of things available for sale, and they're very friendly. So yeah, definitely have the website right there, ti99iuc.it. Next, we have a package from the United Kingdom. So today we're getting packages from all over the place. So this is an SCART splitter, but specifically it's an active one. Let's open it up. There you go, nice manual. This is a SCART splitter. So right, you have the label here. This is the input and those are the outputs. And the reason I'm looking for this and having to order it all the way from the UK is that it's very difficult to find I haven't been able to find a splitter for SCART that doesn't affect the signal. And I looked into it, and apparently in order to avoid that, it's not like you need better quality cables or shielding or something like that. You actually need to have an active splitter. So maybe we'll try it right now. It should be simple enough. So this is my retro corner, not that one, that's the working corner. In the retro corner, apart from the PCW, I have my Sony CRT Trinitron. It's a 14-inch one, and it's fantastic for all sorts of retro equipment. So here I have, for example, the Amstrad set up, and I have all the retro equipment going to here. So this is the output that goes to the TV, and so I can plug in multiple things and switch like that when I need to. So for example, right now, if I turn on the Amstrad, then it just goes in there and it's great. I can plug something else without unplugging the Amstrad there if I don't want to. Not like, I have a lot of room to plug multiple things at once, but that's the general idea. And it's a lot more comfortable to unplug it, plug it, unplug it here than at the back of the TV. So in addition to that, what I have here is an OSSC, that's an open source scan converter. And that takes SCART RGB signal and generates an HDMI signal, which then I feed into this capture card. And that's what I use to capture footage from retro computers. So the problem is that in order to do that, I would have to, if I wanted to capture the Amstrad right now, I need to unplug the TV from the output of this switch and plug in the OSSC. And if I do that, then obviously I cannot see what I'm recording here. So I need to hook up something to the output of the HDMI card, most likely my monitor here, and then see the output there with very little lag, fortunately, because the OSSC has very little lag. So in order to see it there, I need to move my computer over here, and it's just a pain. And I would love to just be able to capture things while I'm seeing them on the TV here. In the past, one thing I tried was to use one of these cheapy, crappy splitters. And this is exactly what it looks like. You plug in an input in here and you get supposedly 3 outputs, but I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. So I did exactly that. I have the splitter coming from the output of the switch and then the TV connected to the splitter. And when I turn on the Amstrad, it still looks fantastic, great. But now, as soon as I plug in the OSSC, and it's not even on, right? This is just plugging it in. Look, let's see. Look what it does to the screen. It just cuts the brightness in half. And it's not like you would think like, okay, I can live with that. It's just slightly annoying. But no, the capture, it's also dimmed this way. So it looks really horrible. So this is why the cheapy splitter is no good. So we need an alternative solution. Okay, so let's try the active SCART switch now. I've plugged in a SCART cable there, and I will plug it at the input, which is right there. And then the TV will be one of the 2 outputs right there. So let's just try that to start and see if it still looks good. Okay, that's perfect. Now I'm going to plug in the OSSC and no difference whatsoever. So That's great news. I'm not going to go through the whole process of setting it up and doing a capture right now, but if this is looking here right now, the signal is not dimmed, I'm pretty confident that we're going to get the correct capture. Now I'm curious, if I turn off the power, I'll do it right here, do we get any difference? Yeah, wow, we get nothing. I guess that makes sense. It's fully active, so it probably has some transistors boosting the signals, and otherwise it just gets absolutely nothing. So that makes sense. So this is potentially great. The only drawback is that now I need to have this always plugged in, but that's fine. I have already so many things plugged in. So I'm really excited about this one. It should make capturing any kind of retro video way better. And finally, this package is coming from the US. So today we had quite the spread of packages coming from all over the world: New Zealand, Sweden, Italy, UK, and the US. That must be a record in Noel's RetroLab mail day. There we go. Masterminds of Programming. The reason I got this book is because several of you recommended this book to me after the episode on the TI-99 for a BASIC. I wrote that quick benchmark, and then we started comparing it to other computers of the time, and seeing which BASICs were horrible and which ones were better. Yes, the BBC one is absolutely fantastic, it seems. But then some of you got into a conversation of what BASIC was meant to be, because I made a comment like the TI-99 BASIC only supported one statement per line, and I thought it was like a weird limitation, and somebody explained, no, that was actually intended from the beginning, because the creators of BASIC had some very specific goals in mind, which I kind of dismissed, right? Like, I got to BASIC in the early 80s. By then, it was already the home computer language. It was already maybe in the second or third, probably like third generation of BASIC. And so it was more like almost like a kid's language. So I never took it that seriously. My own experience too, I started learning BASIC, and within a month or two, I'm like, okay, I need to go to assembly. This is just not good enough for what I want. But so I was very curious by some of those statements about what BASIC was meant to be and how they had some very specific ideas. So this book was recommended to me, and it seemed very interesting, not just for the BASIC, but for all the other languages. So weirdly enough, I couldn't find a copy in Europe cheaper. So I ended up ordering it from the US probably a couple of months ago, and it just arrived. So it will go on my shelf, and I'm definitely looking forward to reading this one. Should be very interesting. So there you go. We have lots of new stuff to keep us busy for several videos, and some of it I get to use right away, which is really cool. That SCART splitter will come in really handy next time I have to do any kind of video capture. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that episode. If so, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Until next video, see you then. If you enjoyed this video, please consider supporting Noel's RetroLab on Patreon or joining the membership on YouTube. Not only is that the best way to support this channel and allow me to continue making more videos, but you also get some extra perks like early access, ad-free videos, and more. Thank you again to all the supporters. See you next time.